On, guys.
Hi, Corey. I guess one of the questions coming into the camp was linebacker. Who, alongside Wesley, do you think has taken the biggest step toward trying to claim that position?
I think a lot of different guys have done like really good things in different areas. Chase has definitely made some big strides coming off an injury. Playing multiple positions there. Pruitt, in space, some of the things he does, continuing to grow as an inside linebacker. Jalen Alderman, you can tell he's got a lot of experience. He's got like a comfortableness to him a little bit, where you can tell like making some of the checks and understanding some of the splits and the fits, and then just how to play inside the box, how he defeats blocks. He's doing a really good job right there. But overall, the group in general, I think, continues to get better every single day.
And Gary as well. Has he had a good spring?
Yeah. So Popo is the other guy right now. Like you watch Popo, like how well he plays with his hands, how violent he is. He does a good job as a leader, just getting everyone set up every single play. Right away, he's always out there, getting the defense set up, getting the defense aligned, making the different checks, and then he's just violent at the point of attack, which is what we want.
How do you feel like the buy-in has been in general with your defense as you're installing your new system?
Yeah, I think, right from day one, I think the guys have been all in. I think playing faster is showing up every single day. The first day, I don't think we ran to the ball very well. As practice has gone on, as spring ball's gone on, you can tell we're getting faster and faster as we play. Some of it, I think, was just trying to figure out what the calls were. Some of it was just trying to figure out the tempo or what exactly what we want. But, I think the guys are communicating better. I think they're all in with how fast they're playing, how we're finishing, how we're teaching the leverage on the football, how we're teaching block destruction, how we're teaching our swarm and finish. And I think, if you go back and looked at practice 1 compared to today, practice 14, I think you'll see like major strides from everyone on the defense.
Do you think, just over the course of 14 practices, that they're where you want them to be in terms of like learning the defense and having it all down pat?
No, we're not, we're not where we want to be yet, but that's the biggest thing. It's, and for us, it's almost like you're never going to be satisfied. We always want a little bit more. We always want to be, whether it's just how urgent we are to get lined up, our communication pre-snap, making sure everyone's communicating, everyone's locked in on the same call, the same check. It's, our pad level, it's our hands, it's our eye discipline, it's our communication within the snap. The details on everything we do. Like, we throw a lot of situational football at our guys, and just having them understand, like today we got, we're third and, 10 plus, and we don't get our depth and the ball goes over our head for a first down. Now we got to restack it, we got to reload it again. Some of the different situational things, end of game. Understanding where we want to force the football, where our angles need to be, what the tempo of the offense is going to be. Just constantly talking to our guys about situational football, and it's kind of fun when you go through it because you install a defense, you get everyone to kind of understand the ground level of it. Now, after spring football, when we get back into it again, now we got to go right back into a beginner's mentality, and they'll go back, but now they'll have a baseline. Now they'll have a foundation. So everyone will have an understanding of the concepts and the scheme, but now it's going to be more about, okay, now what else can I get out of this? Now it'll be more awareness of what everyone else around them is doing. When can I be a little bit more aggressive? When can I maybe not be as aggressive? Okay, certain situations, how do I handle that? How do I communicate? What are we anticipating in these situations? And that's where, like, you can kind of tell, like, a guy like Popo or Wes, they've played a lot of football. Like Jalen, he's played a lot of football. So you can tell those guys, have been around it, so that their awareness of it is a little bit further ahead. Where, some of our younger guys, they're doing a really good job right now, but they haven't been in college football when the ball's at the 50-yard line. They haven't been in a 2-minute situation to end the game. So you can see right now they're still just trying to figure out what they're doing. And then now they're growing a little bit as they figure out what's going on around them.
You obviously came in blind. None of these guys were recruited to play in your scheme, and so it's been a feel-out process probably for you the entire spring. Where do you feel you are in that regard? Obviously, it's no secret the portal opens on Monday. Are you comfortable with where you are? And do you feel like, I know you can't say specifically, but do you feel like you need to find just a little bit more in the portal?
We're always going to continue to push and continue to get better in everything we do. And I think our roster, if you look at where we were, really practice 1, practice style, practice tempo, discipline, how we finish, how we play up front. I think everything is getting better. And that's why I just told the linebackers, like, when we broke, like, if you went back and turned the film on, like, how much of a jump we've made, and that's the biggest thing right now. Like, I love the guys in the room, and they continue to get better. They continue to come in and watch film at night. They continue to attack it. Like, I love it now. Like, you show up, they have questions right away. Hey, coach, when we get this one, how do you see this? And that's where, like, we're continuing to progress and get better every day. And there's always going to be certain things that, you always want to try to look and find things. But it all starts with us. It all starts right here. You know, what do we need to do in our locker room, in our coaching staff to continue to get better every single day? And that's where I think the guys have all met that and continue to push each other every single day. And that's, one thing we talked about was, you never know who's going to be on the field. The guy gets hurt, something happens. So it's always, demand it from each other. An older guy who maybe has a little bit more awareness, who's played a little bit more, who just has more experience, demand it from the younger guys, help bring them up. The younger guys go latch on to a guy that maybe has played a little bit more, that has a little bit more experience or has been in that play. Go ask him, hey, why'd you do that on that play? So now you can learn what to do. And that's where, our room, right now, that's the biggest concern is just pulling each guy up from our room and our side of the ball and really on the entire team.
So maybe a better way to say that, maybe a better way to ask that would be: is it fitting? Is the puzzle coming together between what you like to do as a defensive coordinator and what you found here when you got here?
Oh, absolutely. And then the other thing is, no matter where you are, whether it's still at Minnesota or somewhere else, we always got to figure out who the best 11 are, who the best 22 are, last year we played a lot of guys. There were a lot of games you're playing, 9, 10, 11 defensive linemen. You're playing 4 or 5 linebackers. You're playing a lot of DBs, in different packages or different styles or different tempos, how the offense is trying to attack you, what's our strengths that week. And that's one thing for us, even as a coaching staff. It's hey, this is the way we did it last year. That's not necessarily the way we're going to do it this year. This was a call maybe we liked, and everywhere I've been, it's been a little bit different. Leave Maine and we got 250-pound Sam linebacker who's going to the NFL. I get to JMU, that guy's not there. It's the same thing. It's okay. We need to find out who our personnel is and what our strengths are. And we got to go through as a coaching staff and try to find out, okay, this is what we're good at. How do we now get that within our scheme?
Corey,
how do we coach to our players on that? And that's the number one thing we're always going to look at.
I'm sorry, on the topic of best 11, which you just mentioned, you have obviously at least 6 really good FBS corners, the 4 transfers, Damari Brown coming back from the injury, and OJ. Do you consider moving any of them to safety if you feel like all 6 are better than most of your safeties? Obviously, Poyser will be there.
Yeah, in different situational football, you'll see a lot of different guys in a lot of different spots. And just in general, you watch practice today, we got some guys on the line of scrimmage, some guys off the line of scrimmage, some guys in on the slot, some guys out at corner. Some guys are playing deep half, some guys are playing post, where maybe traditionally that's not where they're used to playing. And to us, it's all, okay, what's the situation? Who are we playing? Where's their best players? Where's the speed? Okay, now we got to find out what the matchups are this week. And that's where, week to week, game to game, period to period in practice, we're going to put some guys in different situations. And, for us, it's really positionless defense. Is that guy a linebacker or is that guy a DN? Is that guy a safety or is he a line? Always trying to put guys in different roles so we can get bigger, we can get faster, we can get, depending on what opponent we're playing or, what the offense's personnel is or who their style is. So every week that could be different. So, yeah, at times you'll see 4 corners on the field, at different, and sometimes you'll see them in different spots. Are they at corner or are they not at corner? Sometimes you'll see multiple linebackers on the field. You may see a 5th D lineman. Every situation calls for something a little bit different. And then every call, it's okay, what's our personnel, what's our strengths right now? How do we want to attack the offense? Because the same thing, it's always going to be about us before it's going to be about, what Coach Dawson's doing on offense right now or what our first opponent's going to do in that scheme. It's always going to be, okay, what are our strengths? How do we put our guys in the best situations to make the play? And if that means 3 or 4 safeties are on the field, we'll have 4 safeties on the field. And every situation will be different.
What has Marquise Lightfoot shown you this spring?
He's explosive. He's dynamic. He does some really good things off the edge. He's playing much better with his hands. He's learning. He's grasping things very quickly. He continues to get better every day. And he's one of those guys, every day when you watch it, you can tell, as he improves his awareness of the situation, understanding how to beat a tackle or understanding how to beat a guard, understanding situational football, just constantly improving every single day. But he's a guy that, we're excited about what's going to happen as he continues to grow and develop here in the future.
What kind of progress have you seen from Justin Scott this spring?
Yeah, he's, same thing. He's played a lot of different positions right now. He's explosive off the football. He plays with a really good pad level. He can, on a single block right now, he's a guy we anticipate or expect to win. But he continues to get better. His pad level continues to improve. And then just his movements and his, how twitchy he is off the football. He's continued to get better all the way through spring ball.
And to zoom out a little bit on the defensive line, overall progress, and also how valuable the reps are against the O-line you see in practice every day.
Yeah, I mean, the scheme we see, the way that we run the football, the way that we protect, every single day we're seeing as good as we'll see probably all year. And that's, our offensive line does a great job. Our scheme up front is very hard to defend, and just having our guys, a lot of stuff thrown at them day one, and being new and trying to do a new scheme or a new, different style from last year, maybe a little bit. Right away, it's do you want us to hold? No, just throw everything at us. Let's go figure it out. Let's go play fast, and let's coach it up, because that's what's going to be. In the opener, we're going to see a different play. At some point next year, we're going to see a different formation. We're going to see a different motion. So for our guys, it's constantly, what's the technique? What's my job, and what are my rules? As long as we play within what our job entails us to do and what our rules are, we'll play fast, and we'll be physical at the point of attack. And that's where you can see moving guys in different spots and showing guys a lot of different looks, whether it's different protections, different run scheme, different pin blocks or double teams or combos. You can see our D-lines constantly getting better with their pad level, their hand placement, their technique, getting their feet in the ground, knocking the line of scrimmage back. And I think as an entire group, everyone continues to raise the bar every day.
Corey, when we've spoken to the linebackers, they've talked about communication being a point of emphasis. How has that gone? And then what else has been a constant point of emphasis for you when you're coaching the linebackers during drills?
Yeah, so it starts in meetings, the unit meeting, the position meetings. We want our guys talking, and it's every single time. Hey, here's the call. Here's what's going on, and then I want to hear all the communication. Where's the front set? How are we lining up the defense? What exactly what call are we in right now? What's your job? What's your alignment? Where are your eyes? We always want our guys talking, and it's just making sure the third level and the second level are doing the same thing. The second level and the first level are tied in. Because what we can't have is independent contractors. We can't have, 2 guys or 3 guys are doing something over here, and then the rest of the defense is doing something completely different on this side. And I'll tell the guys a lot of time, just have, volume reflects confidence. So just be confident. Go out, make the check. If it's the wrong check, the defense is playing the call. We're good. All 11 hats are doing the same thing. When we're trying to dance around it or figure it out, that's when we're not playing good defense. We're not all aligned as 11 guys on the field. And I think every day you can hear it in the meetings now too. I want those guys to attack it. The second that clip goes up, we make the call right away. They're set in the front right away. They're set in the defense. They're communicating whether it's what the fit is or what the coverage is and how everything's tied together. And you can start to hear the confidence as we're going through. And and our offense does an unbelievable job. All the different looks we've seen, all the different motions. It's, there's so many different things that our guys have to communicate on every snap. And then the other thing is we roll different guys in every series. Every series it's 2 different guys, 3 different guys, different safeties with different linebackers, different defensive ends with the linebackers. So that way they got to learn to work with different guys in every single rep. So you don't get used to working with the same guys every time. So now it's okay. I know that guy's going to make the check. I just got to listen. No, every play it's going to be, hey, I might have to talk. Hey, we're doing this right? Yep, make the call. And that way everyone's always aligned and they're always locked in. But the communication, from same thing. Is it where I want it right now? No. Is it where the defensive staff wants it right now? No. But is it getting better from practice 1? Absolutely. And as we continue to go, finish off spring football and go into fall camp, it'll continue to get better as we go.
Hayden Lowe's gotten a lot of praise from his teammates and Jason Taylor. Just how have you seen him progress over the spring, and just where does he stand in terms of freshmen that you've seen before?
Yeah, just the way he approaches it every day, you can see the details in his alignment, his get off, his hands, his pad level, how he ties in his hands with his hips and pass rush, his understanding of football. Just, hey, I got a man on block, I got a man away block, I got high hat, what protection am I getting? And then just the awareness of what's going on around him. Every day it gets better. And you can see him, he's always in the building, he works at it, he loves football. And that's one of the things where as long as he continues to attack it every single day, he'll continue to develop as a really good football player. But early on, and the thing I love about him is, does he make mistakes? 100%. All of our guys do. But he makes them 100 miles an hour, and that way it's easy to learn. You know what? I did the wrong thing here. Let's go clean it up. The next time you don't see that same mistake. And he continues to get better every single time as he plays fast every rep. So,
Thanks, Corey.
All right, thank you guys.